Game of Thrones, pretty wild show, right? People dying left and right, people falling in love, people getting fortunes getting slain. It's fucking crazy. It's probably one of the coolest, shows slash series of books that's, ever come out. You got the Starks, right? And like Ned, he's the warden of the North. There aren't a lot of people up there like in the South, because in the South you got tons of different places that used to be their own kingdoms but are ruled over by the rich. But up north you got a couple people. That's it. You got the Starks, the car Starks, the truck Starks. Like 20 different kinds of Starks and some other people in between. As soon as you go down south, though, all of a sudden you're presented with like a million different families. And the one family to rule them all, you got, the Baratheons. And they're a crazy bunch of lords and ladies and what have you. They mostly just have big old friggin' clubs because that's what they are. They like to hunt, they like to fight, they like to usurp. That's what they do. And then you've got like the Lannisters, who married into the Baratheons, and so it's kind of like these like two families vying for the Seven Kingdoms, which are you got that family that's led by what's his name, like Tywin Lannister, the old man with the leather coat. He's nuts. He's completely nuts. And of course, you got the common people, and the common people don't really give a fuck who leads them, because I mean, what? They're common, they're poor, they just want to get done farming for the year and have a crop to hold them over through the next winter, which for some reason lasts for 17 years or something like that. And so they got bigger things on their plate than who's usurping who and fighting who and who's got dragons and what animal you're pretending to be. You know what I'm saying, huh? Of course, who could forget Jon Snow, the bastard of Winterfell, who, because of honor or something like that, decides to go and join a bunch of friggin' ex-cons up on the wall, and that's like, coming from Maine, it's like, that's like real Maine. That's not friggin' North Boston and Portland, you know what I'm talking about? This is like the real deal. The wall's like Limestone, Maine, got like 43 people living in it. Nobody knows what's up there. I mean, hell, if you were to tell me there were monsters living in living in North Aroostook, I wouldn't be that surprised. You know what I'm talking about? It's probably like the great great grandfather of former Senator Olympia Snow. You know what I'm talking about? See, as far as Westeros is concerned, you got two types of people. You got the people from the north who are used to the cold and they're friggin' metal wearing animal hides all the time just to keep from freezing to death. And then you got the southerners, and the southerners are just like singing songs about flowers or drinking fancy wines from Thorn or Oz or wherever the hell they get it from. They don't get it like the North does. They don't get that once winter comes, like if it comes strong enough, it's gonna bury everything in 3 friggin' feet of ice and snow, and suddenly these zombies are gonna come down from the north and eat everybody alive. It's gonna be like The Walking Dead in the Middle Ages. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be something that nobody wants to deal with at all. It's gonna be danger. It's gonna be excitement. It's gonna be like people dying left and right and usurpations and people betraying each other, weddings where people get their friggin' heads cut off. Nobody knows what's going on. Say what you will about Robert Baratheon, I mean, maybe he's a drunk and a bumpkin, comes from Lord knows where, but I mean, he's better than that little shit Joffrey. I mean, who in their right minds would ever want to have Joffrey Baratheon as their kid? I mean, pure evil. Pure evil. Nobody has ever said a good thing about Joffrey. Want to get my hands around his fucking neck and just fucking wring the life out of that little shit. Get him fucking good and dead, you know what I'm saying? Then go after his family. Go after his whole fucking family. Except for Tyrion, because he's cool. He knows a lot of stuff. He's really smart. He's just, kind of been stuck in a small body and everyone hates him because of it. I am pretty. One thing that really pissed me off about the show is after that battle at King's Landing. It's like He's got this like one little scar on his face when it's supposed to be like they hack like half his fucking nose off, you know? He's supposed to look like a monstrosity afterwards. And but obviously the producers are like, oh, but look at him, Peter Dinklage. We don't want to make him ugly. He's so beautiful. Friggin' kid tried to get into wizard school. Not even Slytherin would let him in. They're like, dude, we're not that fucked up. You think we're gonna let a little shit like you? Uh, that being said, though, he kind of does look a little like what's his face? I don't know, blonde kid. His name is totally skipping my name now. Draco Malfoy, that's what his name is. Yeah, little kid. Thinks he's better than better at flying than Harry Potter. My ass. I mean, nobody can fly better than Harry Potter. He's a prodigy. He's a prodigy. I mean, it's like sometimes fate just puts you somewhere where you're supposed to save the world. Uh, you don't have heroes like that in Game of Thrones. There is no good or evil. There's just kind of like morally distraught and really evil. That's all there really is to it. I mean, really, you can't afford to be good in Westeros. I mean, look at Ned Stark got his fucking head cut off in the first book. You think that's you think that's a good thing? No, that's yeah, that's what doing good gets you. His son, Jon Snow, he's just as dumb. I mean, he moved up to the wall where nobody wants to live. That's where they put criminals who are either like, say you can either get your head cut off or you can fight monsters up north. I mean, that's all there is to it. You know that whoever told him that it was honorable to go up there was like, sitting at Winterfell and was like, look, bastard kid is making us look bad. You gotta get him out of the fucking picture fast, or there's gonna be hell to pay. So said person was probably like walked up to John and was like, listen, uh, people fight for the privilege of going to the wall. If you really want to make your father proud, you should do it. And then John, being the fucking idiot that he is like, yeah, that sounds like a really good idea. I could make a name for myself that isn't like Snow or something. But at least, going to the wall, he gets his friend Sam Tarly, and they really kind of bond because Sam's like, oh, your family hates you. My family hates me, too. That's why we're here. Say what you will about the Lannisters. I mean, their hearts might not be in the right place, but at least they still got their heads on their shoulders. Huh, Ned Stark? The whole Stark clan, though, it's got to be in their blood. I mean, Ned's missing his head. John's stuck up at the wall. Rob's dead. Arya's lost somewhere in the woods, and Sansa's married to a friggin' psychopath. And I don't know what. Like in the show, didn't Catelyn get her friggin' head cut off or something? I don't know. I don't watch the show really. One thing I absolutely hate about the show, though, it's like if you read the books, you're just walking around the whole time like you feel like you're supposed to have a giant spoiler alert taped to your chest, because as soon as someone else starts talking about the show, you might think they're talking about the books, say something that happens already, and all of a sudden they get pissed because you ruined the whole end of them. But I mean, it's like, I don't know. I guess I should know because like people don't really read books that often, right? I mean, this is the 21st century. It's like it's a waste of time. That's all it is. Daenerys thinks she can be the queen of Westeros. She's never even been there before. She doesn't know what they need. She doesn't know what they like, what they believe in. She probably hasn't even heard of the Seven before. Doesn't worship like them. Doesn't do anything. Sure, you don't have to have 3 dragons to rule the 7 kingdoms, but it sure does help, huh? If you ask me, the only hope that country has of surviving a dragon attack is some machine guns, some tanks, some helicopters. That's right. Get Barack on the case. Get him, fucking airstrikes. Airstrikes. You can kill dragons with airstrikes, right? Just fly some jets over, fucking flatten it to the fucking ground, you know, nobody left. Then we move in, take their oil. It's fucking great. It works out perfectly.